Hey team, welcome to the numbers game. I'm Coach T, and in this tutorial, we're going to be using implicit differentiation to calculate a tangent line. Now before we get started, make sure to subscribe to the channel for notifications on more math tutorials. Alright, now let's take a look at our example. Our example says find the tangent line for x times y plus 2 equals 3x squared minus y at x equals 0. And the first important thing to note is that our tangent line, whatever we find it to be, needs to be written in slope-intercept form. That is, y equals mx plus b. Here, m represents the slope and b represents the y-intercept. Now we can easily solve for the y-intercept by plugging x equals 0 into the equation that we were given. So that'll be 0 times y plus 2 equals 3 times 0 squared minus y. 0 times y just equals 0, so that leaves us with 2 on this side of the equal sign. And 0 squared is 0, times 3 is 0, so that gives us negative y on this side. And then we can divide negative 1 on both sides to leave us with y equals negative 2. So we found our y-intercept as negative 2. And in order to find the slope, we're going to take the derivative of x times y plus 2 equals 3x squared minus y. And I'm sure you've noticed that we have x's and y's here, so we're going to use implicit differentiation to do this. Alright, so let's start off with the left-hand side of the equal sign. First, we see that we have x times y, so we'll need to use the product rule here. That'll be x times the derivative of y plus the derivative of x times y. And then we've got plus 2, so we'll need to take the derivative of 2. So that's the left-hand side of the equal sign, and let's move on to the right. We've got the derivative of 3x squared minus the derivative of y. So let's start simplifying this. We have x by itself times the derivative of y, which we can write as y prime, plus the derivative of x, and the derivative of x just equals 1. And this is times y, plus the derivative of 2, and the derivative of a constant by itself just equals 0. Now moving on to the right-hand side of the equal sign, we have the derivative of 3x squared. We'll use the power rule to solve this, so we've got 2 times 3, which equals 6. We'll add the x back in, and then we'll subtract 1 from 2 to give us an exponent of 1. Then this is minus the derivative of y, which we can write as y prime. Now this can be simplified a little further, so we've got x times y prime plus 1 times y, which just equals y, and then we don't need the plus 0. Then this equals 6 times x raised to 1. X raised to 1 is just x, so that'll leave us with 6x minus y prime. So this is the derivative, and the next step towards finding the slope is to get y prime by itself. So the first thing that I'll do is add y prime to both sides. And then I'll subtract y from both sides. And now on the left-hand side of the equal sign, I'm going to factor out y prime. So that'll give us y prime times x plus 1. Then I'll divide both sides by x plus 1 to leave us with y prime equals 6x minus y over x plus 1. Now remember, y prime represents slope, so we need to plug in values for x and y to get a final answer for that slope. Earlier we found the y-intercept as negative 2, so we'll plug that in for y. And we were given x as 0 in the original example, so we'll plug that in for x. So we've got y prime equals 6 times 0 minus y, which is negative 2, over 0 plus 1. The numerator simplifies to 2 and the denominator simplifies to 1, and so y prime will just equal 2. So that will be our slope. And this here is the equation of our tangent line, y equals 2x minus 2. And there you have it. Using implicit differentiation, we found our tangent line. If this video was helpful for you, give it a thumbs up, like the video, and also subscribe to the channel for notifications on more math tutorials. I'm Coach T, and thanks for watching The Numbers Game.